Hello guys, it's been Emmanuel once again. In the previous lesson, we talked about creating a navigation menu in HTML and CSS. In this lesson, we're going to be learning how to create a drop-down navigation menu in HTML and CSS. I'm going to open the previous project. I think I have it open already. Yeah, I'm going to right click on it and then open with live service so we see what it looks like. Alright. So this is what we created on the previous lesson. Now I'm going to create a drop-down navigation menu for the services we've got here. Now I'm going to switch back to code and services. Under services, I'm going to indent this. So I'm going to indent this, and then I'm going to create an another list here. This should be my drop-down menu. And one thing you need to take note of is that our drop-down menu is just going to be a list of other items. So I'm going to create a list here, and this is going to be an anchor tag because we want to link these to a different page. So maybe my services are maybe web development, web design, maybe SEO. What else I can I'm gonna remove this up. Okay, let's do graphic design, and I'm just gonna stop here. So what we have here, if we looking at what we have on our browser, I'm going to divide my page so it looks perfectly all right, so we can see the changes as it happens live. So now we have a drop-down navigation menu here. The next thing I'm going to do is give it classes and then style it. So I'm going to give the UL here a class. So you should just take note that we are creating the same structure we created when we created the navigation menu. But this time I'm going to be changing the class. Instead of using the same class we're using here, I'm going to be creating a different class here. And this is going to be drop down. And on the next, I'm going to give all the list items the same class. This same class we have here, nav items. So nav dash item. And the links will have the same class. And nav dash link. And I think we now have the same style here for the drop down. Now I'm going to select the drop down and give it a completely different style. So I'm going to go back to my style sheet here. This is my style sheet. Now I'm going to select the drop down and then give it a different class from style entirely. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these drop down look like something that floats on the page, something that's completely independent of the navigation menu, or like what we have on the screen now. You can see that the navigation menu just changes, increases the height of our nav bar. So I'm going to change that by setting the position of the element to absolute, and that's just going to make the element float on the page. So and now the next thing to do is remove the bullet we have at the side and the padding. Just exactly the same thing we did here. So I could just move this line to the top of my code here, and then put a comma here so we have the same style we had there initially. But the problem here is that this is just going to make our menu not look good at all, because it's now it now has this property we have here, and this is exactly what I don't want for it. So I like the absolute positioning. I'm going to change the display, and I want the display back to block. So I'm going to set it back to block. And then I'm going to fix the background color. I want the background color to be black so we can see the text, since the text is white. So I'm going to change the background color to black. So I'm just going to use the keyword black. And now we can see we have a simple menu here. And now the next thing I would do is change the alignment. So I'm going to do the text align I'm gonna change that to left because I want it at the left. And then you can see the map menu just as I hover on it, doesn't look good at all. I'm gonna fix that by removing the padding we have for the links. So the next thing I'm gonna do is select the so I'm removing the padding we have here. We set this padding here, and since this is a descendant selection, this is selecting the navigation link we have in the main menu. So we're selecting the navigation links we have in the main menu. So this time around, I'm going to select the navigation links we have in the drop down. So I'm going to do drop down dot and then dot drop down space and then dot nav dash links. So with these, now I'm selecting the navigation links we have in the drop down. So that's now being specific. So I'm not going to say, okay, I don't want this guy. I don't want the padding at all. So I'm going to do the padding maybe 0. So this is just for test for now. So if we hover on it, you can see that we've got absolutely no padding at all. So the next thing I'm going to do is maybe just increase it to fit my need. Before I do that, I'm going to change the display to block, and that's because I wanted to feel the entire appearance. So you can see the crazy space we had initially. Let's comment this out and then hover on it. So you can see we were having this much space here because these are inline elements here, and fixing that problem is making the element becomes a block element, and that fills the space we have there. So the next thing that I'm going to do is now maybe I'm going to increase these to maybe 15, 10 and 15 pixel. So we have something cool here now at the side. But the problem we have here is this: we still have our drop down menu go just right at the top of the navigation menu. And to fix that problem, I will need to use the top property to bring down our menu a little bit. So if I put this at 0, it's going to take our drop down menu to the top of the page. And the easiest way to solve this problem is to maybe inspect it, and then we're going to change the value. So I'm just going to open this full so we can see what's happening here. I'm going to divide these and then close these guys, open these, and then I'm going to click on drop down. So you can see the top, and we'll click on the value here and then use the up arrow key to increase the value. So increasing the value now allows me change that the position here. So you can see I can see the position as I use the top and down arrow key here. So I'm just going to make it fit exactly what I want. So if I see exactly what I want, I'm just going to leave it there and then copy the value we have there. It's 50 pixels. I'm just going to write it here, 50 pixel. So 50 pixel, and that's good. Now the next thing I'm going to do is maybe create a border around it. So I'm going to do border 1 pixel solid, and let's see if I leave the color. Yeah, and it fixed the problem because the text color is black by default, so it's black. And you need to remember that I was only changing the color for the link and not the text, so we are good. All right, so we're good. So now we have a simple drop-down navigation menu, but this is not all. We don't want the menu to be visible at all. So how do I do that? I'm just going to come back here to drop down and then change the display using the display property, setting it to none. That's going to make our drop down vanish, but unfortunately it's not working and I don't know why. Something is overriding our style, so you can see that here. I doubt if I know what's overriding that style, so I'm going to check my code. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, we we're setting this to inline flex, and then we later change this to this, and then we change the block, and so there's no way it's gonna go. So what I'm gonna do is just remove this line we had here, so we don't need that line at all. And then I'm gonna copy this line that removes the padding. I'll copy the line that removes the padding, and then I'm gonna paste it here, so we don't have the padding at all. And now the padding is gone, the list type too. So I'm gonna copy the same thing here and list type, or I could just leave the code exactly the way it was initially, and then make this important. So removing removing this line instead. I'm gonna remove this line and see if it works. So yeah, it works fine. Good. Removing that line works fine. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I want when the user hover on services, then the drop down appears. So how do I solve that problem? Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this dot. What element is this? What class do we have here? So I'm going to inspect that, and then let's see if this is our nav item. So here on my code here, I'm going to select the nav item, and then maybe nav item, and then space. Let's see our HTML code so we can see what element we're trying to select. So I want to select this, and I want to change these to display when I hover on these elements. So I'm going to do it this way. So dot nav item space dot drop down, but in front of these I need to have that hover property, because I want only when I hover on the nav item, that is when I want to apply whatever style I'm going to be writing here. Now that's where I want to change the display to block. So I think this should solve the problem. So if we hover, now we have our element displayed nicely. So we have our drop down, we hover, or we have a drop down displaying property. So that's nice. Let's pick something. I'm gonna reduce this to maybe 48. Let's see if it solves that tricky problem. All right, so everything is fine now. So now we have a simple navigation menu. So if I needed to create a different drop down for, I'm gonna open this and maximize it. If I wanted a drop down for Lord, I'm just gonna indent this and then copy exactly what I wrote here, and then paste it down here, then change the values. So maybe entertainment, news, and then change these to maybe what should I put here? Maybe sport, news, and then I'm just gonna delete this. Yeah, so we have a simple menu now. Yeah, so it works fine. And now, thank you for watching this video, and your comments, your sharing, your likes, and whatever you will help me. So your reviews will help me a lot in making more videos. So in the next video, we're gonna learn how to create a mobile responsive menu, how to make our menu responsive. So when we check it out on a mobile device, it should look good. When we check it out on a desktop, it should look good, just as when we check it on the tablet, it should look good. So thank you for watching this video.